Hi, I'm attorney Tammy Saltzman. Welcome to Divorce Connection Network. I am so happy to have you here today to introduce all of you to my very dear friend Craig Richman. Craig and I met back in December through the ABWA, the American Business Women's Association, and he and I connected on really a spiritual level more than on a business level, but both really, because he got up and said he was a yoga instructor, and I got up and said that I was a heartfelt divorce attorney. So, Craig, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much.
So, you are a financial planner.
Yes.
And you are about to become a certified financial divorce planner. Is that correct?
Divorce analyst.
Divorce analyst. So tell us the correct title. It's going to be
CDFA.
A CDFA, which is
Certified Divorce Financial Analyst.
And he's about to pass his last portion of his test. And what does a CDFA do if couples are contemplating a divorce? How can a CDFA help them?
Great question. CDA has been around for 20 years. Although it's been around for some time, I think the legal community is really learning about how a financial advisor who specializes in divorce can be of huge assistance. What we can do for a client is, before they see a lawyer, is help them gather all the appropriate documents.
Very important.
And help fill out what they call a financial affidavit, which spells out on a legal basis all the assets, all the liabilities, the income, the expenses.
Just so you know, and our audience knows, the financial affidavit is probably one of the most important documents in the entire case. So go ahead, keep going.
Absolutely. It really is the one document that really will help a client.
Or hurt a client.
Or hurt a client. And as a financial expert, my role is to make sure that the client and the lawyer totally understand the financial dynamics of what's going on in their financial picture.
I know in my divorce cases, we are always referring back to the financial affidavit. Where's the financial? Where's the financial? What they say on the financial? How much is it on the financial? What are they deducting on the financial? Let's go back on the financial. Is that loan on the financial? So even in mediations, the number one document we use is the financial affidavit.
Yes, we work as their advocate to help the lawyer and the client understand their assets. So to help the lawyer be best at being able to provide equitable distribution on behalf of their clients. So it really is crucial they understand exactly how these asset works, what the projections of these assets are, and for terms of settlement, my job is to help the client and the lawyer understand whether that asset or it's going to do the job that they expect it to do.
So some pensions survive death, some don't, right?
Yes.
And that's something you would analyze and deliver that information both to the client and the attorney. Some pensions have a cash value, and so a spouse could say, I don't want to wait until they retire. I would like to know what the cash value is and potentially be bought out of that pension. Is that correct?
Absolutely. A defined contribution plan or a 401k will have an actual cash value, but a defined benefit or a true pension plan will not have a current value. And one of my role is to evaluate that pension in its totality and offer you, as a divorce lawyer, a present value as to what that's worth in today's dollars, based on the appropriate assumptions.
And also, I would assume the tax implications of all of the assets and the transfer of those types of assets. Would that be correct?
That is such a huge statement, Tammy. Many times I've seen where one spouse is not getting the assets they should because they're not going to grow accordingly based on the tax ramifications, and there were not adjustments for taxes. So that really has to take a hard look at taxes and plenty of other ramifications.
I find sometimes in cases, when I'm a mediator, the lawyers will be looking at the assets and say the wife has a simple IRA and the husband has a Roth IRA. And so what they say is, husband gets to keep his asset, wife gets to keep her asset. And I would beg to question that maybe those assets, even though they each equal $30,000 on a face, may not be the same after they're analyzed. Is that correct?
Absolutely. Well, the Roth money was put in with after-tax dollars. They've already paid the tax on those monies, and those monies grow tax-free forever. So you essentially will get a tax-free income. Not the same with a regular IRA. You will have to pay tax on those earnings at some point. So taxes are huge in looking at equitable distribution for this purpose. I also would state, Tammy, that my role as a CDFA, we do divorce work, but we are not operating as a financial planner in that instance. It's really two distinct roles.
So you do financial planning.
Yes.
And you also do CDFA work.
Correct.
And I know that there's times that I will call you and I'll forward you a financial affidavit with a couple of statements and ask you to just give me a quick analysis, and you kind of tell me, this is what you should do, this is how you should split the equitable distribution. I know that you do a much more thorough analysis with charts, etc., when you're retained to come in, but you've always been there to answer my questions whenever I call you.
I try to be a resource to the legal community and certainly to our clients. I'm working on a case right now where actually lady's going to mediation today, as a matter of fact, and I have the file with me, although I was not retained, but I have the file, and should the legal team need me, I have given my cell phone. Obviously not while we're taping a show, but I'm available to help with the clarification of any of the assets.
So I think this is a really important message for the clients out there who want to do their own divorces, because a lot of couples feel like, maybe they've been married 7 or 8 years and they have no children, and they just have a little bit of assets and really not much debt, and they think that they can do it themselves, split everything up and go their separate ways. But one person might not be getting the benefit of the bargain if the assets that they're splitting are not properly analyzed.
The problem is, Tammy, is most clients they're not financial experts.
Right. I'm not a financial expert.
They do not understand all the issues regarding financial assets or debt, for that matter. It is really very, very important to understand all aspects of those assets and liabilities, because if you make the wrong decisions, it's going to have a lasting effect.
Right. And you can't go back. You can't say, oops, made a mistake, can we do a redo-over? Because once that final judgment is entered into the court, that's it. That is your distribution. So if you give your spouse one account and you take another and you think that it's even, but when you retire you have this huge tax liability and he doesn't, then you didn't get the benefit of the bargain, or vice versa.
Absolutely. We don't work as a legal advisor. We're strictly there as an advocate for, again, the client and the lawyer to understand the assets, so you, the divorce professional, can give the best advice to your client.
Right, and I don't know all of the answers, and I certainly don't give any tax advice to my clients. I know that there's always tax implications when you take debt, when you wipe out debt, you get 1099. There's so many different things that will affect how assets are distributed. I think it's very important to speak either with your accountant or with your financial planner, or hire someone like Craig, who is a CDFA, who could help you to better analyze. And of course, when you hire a lawyer, they are going to recommend that you have a CDFA analyze the assets before making certain distributions. I'd like to have you come back and talk again about how you help couples after the divorce. I know you focus on women, so we'll talk about that on our next show. If somebody wants to reach you, Craig, how do they? Please tell our audience.
You can reach me at 368-6400, or they can email me at craig@richmondcm.com.
Don't forget, you can go to divorceconnectionnetwork.com and find Craig's link there. Thanks for joining us. Thanks, Craig.
My pleasure. Thank you.